Alright guys, I'm Michael. This is the Kennedy 24. Welcome to the Omage.
It's harder than it looks.
Alright, this is the Kennedy 24. This is an authentic version from the machinist in California, and the first thing that you're going to notice here is the packaging. There isn't any. So this just comes shipped to you in some bubble wrap in a plain package, and what you see is what you get. No extra O-rings, no extra set screws, just the Addy itself. So this is the black edition, and you'll see here on the cap it does say Kennedy. There's just a really light engraving there, and then on the bottom it says Kennedy 24, and this is serial number 5210. Now this center pin here is all copper, and it's actually not just a pin, it is the entire post. It's the entire center post. So this is your whole positive post there. Go to the top and we have this proprietary drip tip. Now this drip tip is very comfortable to use. It's very smooth, no sharp edges. It's been completely tapered to be absolutely smooth. Now we'll just pop it out here and we'll notice that there's no O-ring on the drip tip itself. The O-ring actually sits inside the cap. It's a nice design. Really makes it really stiff. It's not going to fall out. It's not going to pull out very easily. You're going to have to actually want to pull that out to get it off there. You got a little bit of a tapering on the top cap to smooth it out some, so no sharp edges on the top. This is all stainless steel, and it's a really high quality stainless steel. It's very thick, no sharp edges here on the cap itself, and you'll notice it is concaved inside there, so it'll capture that extra juice, so you're not going to get a lot of spit back, and it's also going to help with the flavor. Now on the deck, we'll take a look at this. We have a 3-post deck, copper center, which you'll notice that mine is very dirty. I need to get in there and clean it out. I just didn't want to pull this build out just yet. I've only had this build in here for about a week or so, so it's still got some life in it. I didn't want to pull that build just yet. So the juice well is very deep, probably about a mil and a half. No leaking issues whatsoever out of this, and I mean I'll fill it from the top. I don't get in there and paint the coils or anything with this one. And I'll show you how I wick this so I don't have to. So you'll notice we have the Cylon style airflow on the bottom, and then on the inside you have these 2 chimneys. Now these chimneys help to constrict the air and force it up, so you're taking in a nice airy inhale, and it condenses it down into these 2 chimneys to force the air up into the coils. Now I'll show you how I wick this. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cotton, just some Japanese cotton here. I'm going to twist one end up, and we'll slide it through. Slide it through this first coil here. I'll just pull it. Now, we don't want it to be super tight, but I do like to keep it kind of taut in there. So right about there I think is good. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this cotton back over, and I'm going to feed it through the same way on the other coil, just like this. So I'll take my tweezers. And kind of just feed it through here. Now this is one way to do it. You can do it, the standard way where you just kind of drape the cotton over both sides if you're into that. But I've been finding that this gives me a lot of good success. Good. I don't have to worry about it overfilling or anything like that, or only getting one side of the coils wet. Now you're definitely going to want to fluff this cotton up a little bit here so you have some nice airflow underneath the coil there, and do the same thing on the other side. And now that's pretty much it on the way that I do my cotton. I'll just take some juice here, and I'll start to just put some juice on here to let it soak in, and then also inside the drip well, just like that. Yeah, and that's gonna soak it in, so we don't have to worry about only one side of the cotton getting juice to it. And you see, that way we'll be able to just drip straight down into the addy and not have to take the top cap off every time to paint. So we're going to go up front and we're going to vape this, and I'll give you my final thoughts and where you can buy one. Alright guys, so you just got through watching the up close of the Kennedy 24. Let's go ahead and call out the big elephant in the room here. The price. I'm not going to make you wait. The price on this guy for the black edition, $110. $110 is a lot of money for an atomizer, right? So what do I think? I think it was worth $110. I think it was worth $120. I love this thing, man. Now, let's go over pros and cons before we go any further. Let's go pros and cons. I'll just start with the pros. The pros, I love the airflow on this. It's, in my opinion, the way that I vape, perfect airflow. And you hear that from a lot of reviewers. You hear that from a lot of people that have this. The airflow on this is fantastic. It is ideal for my preference of vaping, okay? I like to vape high, sometimes I like to vape low. Sometimes I like high VG juice, sometimes I like low VG juice. It's whatever, okay? And this works out perfect. I mean, the airflow on this guy works for me, all right? Now, the really big air slots down here going into these two smaller chimneys, I mean, that was well thought out. That was really well thought out. So you think about maybe a turbocharger on a car. Let's use that analogy. So a turbocharger on a car, it takes in a huge amount of air, squishes it down, and then blows it into the engine. Okay, so it's restricting the airflow and channeling it, into the combustion chamber. That's exactly what this thing does. Okay, he could have went, Steve the machinist could have went with a chimney that was the same as the opening on the outside, but he didn't for a reason. The reason for that, the airflow channels and it accelerates as it's going into the chamber. All right, that is a huge pro for me. So we'll go the design. The design on this, I mean, it's simple. It's really minimalist, but I like it. It's appealing to my eye, probably appealing to your eye too. I love the design on this. I love the finish. I really love the quality of the cuts. all smooth edges, nothing sharp on here whatsoever, no hard, sharp edges on this guy. Everything has been milled to perfection on this. I have another tote. The juice well. The juice well is another huge pro for me. That really deep juice well. I mean, you can pile in a lot of juice into that juice well. So, I mean, I'll fill this thing up at a red light and it'll get me to the next red light, or it'll get me down to where I'm going. So, I dig it. I really dig the juice well. The copper center post, the way that he made it to where it was all one piece from the 510 all the way through, perfect. It makes it hit so much harder. Okay, the fact that he used copper instead of copper plating or gold plating, he used a solid piece of copper, makes this so much better. The flavor is the number one pro for this device. You hear it a lot from other reviewers that the flavor is just awesome on this. It really is. The flavor blows away any other dripper that I've had. Drippers are known for their flavor, but this one, it just, the flavor on it just comes through so well. Okay, and I've had a lot of drippers. I've had drippers that are, flavor drippers, like the Magma, and this one blows the Magma away. It blows it out of the water. Okay, Magma has nothing on this. The Magma's airflow, the restriction and everything is what the Magma uses for the flavor. This one doesn't have to have that. Now, the way that I loop my cotton back over the positive post is another reason. Okay, there's three major reasons that I do that. The first one is the flavor. So whenever my airflow comes in, goes up, hits the coil, and vaporizes the juice in there, the air will come around the coil and then have to pass around that cotton as well, where all this extra flavor is sitting down here. So that's one of the reasons that I do my cotton that way, is for added flavor. Second reason that I do this wicking technique, it restricts the airflow just a little bit more. I hate to say it restricts it, but it makes it a little bit tighter draw. Okay, not tight like a Spire Nautilus or something like that, but a little bit tighter draw. And then I have another toke. And the third reason that I do it that way is spit back. I like to tend to build my coils close, so that way it's right over top of that airflow. But by doing that, usually you're getting spit back, right? Doing it this way, I don't get any spit back whatsoever. The coil's popping and everything. All that's going to do is pop right in. The spit back's going to go right into that cotton. So I'm not getting hot juice in my mouth and burning my palate. I don't get that. So that's the reason I do the wicking that I do. And I forget where I seen this at the very first time. I forget who showed it to me. No, I don't. I saw it on Instagram. I saw an Instagram of that wicking technique, and I thought, I'm going to try that. I'm so glad that I did. Give it a shot. Just give it one. I mean, it's a piece of cotton. Try it out. You'll really like this on a dripper. Next pro, the quality. The quality. Kennedy is known for their quality. So throughout the entire industry, everybody talks about Kennedy's quality. The reason for that, they sell blemished versions of this atomizer on their website for about $75. Now, they're blemished, their quality fail on that isn't anything major, that like the top cap is the wrong size, or they cut half of the deck off or something like that. It's the holes in the negative post, the part that they can't change. The little holes in the negative post, if they are off by 0.01 millimeters to them, it's a quality fail, and that's all it is. They will not put it out the door as a finished product with that 0.01 millimeter fail. Quality, excellent, total pro. Everything on here is smooth, and that all goes back to their quality. Everything's smooth. Everything is perfectly milled out. So that's it. That's it for the pros. Now we'll go into the cons. I have another toke. Let's just say the clouds are another pro. We'll leave that there. Clouds are another pro. So the cons. I'm gonna say the price. Even though I'll pay it again, I'll definitely pay the price again for one of these atomizers. I'm gonna list it as a con just because it's very, very high. Do I think it's worth it? Yeah, I think it's worth it. But I'm going to have to list it as a con just because it is a big deal. Now, another con, it doesn't really affect me. It doesn't bother me at all. No packaging. No packaging is a con, but that's, again, a way that they're keeping their costs down. Okay? To me, it doesn't matter. To you, it may be a huge con that this doesn't have at least a plastic box or something like that. But we'll go ahead and list it as a con. Now, the only serious con that I have for this is the top cap. And not this top cap, but if you go on their website and look at the Kennedy 22s, the Kennedy 22s have different options for top caps. You can buy a top cap for $45 on their site, and you can get a demon cap, a dragon cap. Now, they have the cap that has top airflow to where it's forcing more air to the top of the coil, so you're making this swirling effect. I really want to see that on the 24. I'll list it as a con just because it hasn't happened yet. But if Steve the Machinist is watching this, which he's not, but if he hears about it, somebody go tell him. I want those top caps. If nobody else will buy them, I'll buy them. Let me have them. I want one of each. The dragon, the demon, and the goblin. I want all three of those top caps. And I'll get the colors, man. I want it. So I'll list it as a con just because it hasn't happened yet. Hope it happens very, very soon. And that's it. That's the only cons that I have. I'm gonna have another toke. Now I'm not vaping on a Max VG juice here. This is a lower end juice. The flavor is wonderful. Don't get me wrong, flavor is wonderful, but I say that because of the clouds. Now, whenever I vape some of my regular stuff, some of my regular high VG juice, I mean the clouds are just stellar. But that is still a really thick cloud for not a high VG juice. That's a very, very dense cloud. So I might have one more. So that's really all that I have on the Kennedy. 24 millimeters, huge build space. I will say, not a huge fan of the 3-post design anymore. I think that we've gone so far past the 3-post design, but I don't know if Steve the Machinist can make a 2-post that hits as hard as the 3-post. Maybe in the future. We'll see. We'll see what he does. But not a pro or a con. Just one of the things, man. I really dig the 2-post designs. 3-post, it works. I mean, if it works, it works, So I like to close out every video with a little bit of advocacy, and here we go. Be good ambassadors for vaping. Okay? I was in Walmart last night, and I saw a guy walking through Walmart vaping, and I'm not like stealth vaping and stuff. He was blowing like clouds through the aisles, and I'm surprised nobody came up to him and a store associate and said, "Hey, can't do that in here." I'm really surprised that didn't happen. It may have been because it was late at night, but be good advocates, man. Don't do that. If you're gonna vape in a store like that, I mean, just stealth vape it. You know, I don't really recommend that either. If it's not if smoking's not allowed there, let's just not do it. Just because of the non-vapors, I don't want people to have a negative impression of vaping. Okay, and that's what it sends off to non-vapors. I mean, vaping, they look at it as tobacco. I mean, they're uneducated with vaping, so they just see it as a nuisance, as a irritation to them. So be a good advocate for vaping. Don't do that, please. You guys are out in your communities every day, and you're the ones that non-vapors or that smokers see as the face of vaping. Okay? Keep that in mind whenever you go out. You are the face of vaping. Okay? Not the YouTube reviewers, not the companies that make the products or the juices. You are the face of vaping to the entire world. Bear that in mind and be good ambassadors for this industry. We want to keep this going. All right? We want to keep vaping alive. So that's all I've got, guys. Hope you liked the video. Let me know if I missed anything, or if you have any questions, just put them in the comments down below. I'll check those from time to time. You can email me too. I'll put the link in the description for the email, so you can just have a quick chat with me if you'd like. But that's all I have, man. Till next time, I guess. You are the homage. Remember that. Peace.